We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Eagle Unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live.
I got some bad news. Shakur Stevenson, his resume is aging like milk instead of fine wine. Now, Shakur Stevenson, he's getting ready to fight Floyd Schofield, a fight a lot of you guys want to see. Me, I think it's a bit premature, but hey, you know, Zepeda wasn't available, pulled out. It is what it is. I have to make this video. I did a full-fledged breakdown on Oscar Valdez versus Navarrete, and it got me to thinking when I watched that fight on ESPN. Valdez, him and Eddie Reynoso, I haven't really seen the progress. I feel like Valdez is the same fighter each time out, and it's fairly one-dimensional, right? You look at his old fights, Scott Quigg, broken jaw, bloody mouth. He got heart though, and he has some power, so he's going to keep trying to war back. But I'm not really seeing the adjustments, and I think that's something that we have to start considering. How good was Oscar Valdez, or has Oscar Valdez really ever been? You have to really start analyzing it when you see what Navarrete did to him twice. You had a second time. I really feel like the rematch didn't even need to happen, and you had a second crack at it, and you said you had a great camp and you trained hard, and it was a worse outcome for real because you got stopped. The first fight you had a messed up face and, you know, more damage physically and cosmetically, but you didn't get stopped. Now you got stopped. So I don't even really know where Oscar Valdez goes from here. And it got me to thinking, like, this is one of Shakur's very best wins that people wanted to see, and it's not aging that well, right? And it's not the first time. So in this video, I'm going to break it down. I asked you guys in the Oscar Valdez video if you wanted me to make the video. Enough of you guys left the comment saying you wanted a video, so here I am. And everything I speak is facts. People could get mad and say, oh, you're hating. I always said this for years. You can dislike, but you can't disprove. I don't care who's mad at me. I don't care who likes the channel, who doesn't like the channel. I don't wake up every morning worried about who likes me. I am not in high school. You know, I don't go out of my way for people to like or not like me. You know, the choice is yours. But boxing conversations and boxing talk has gotten very soft and watered down. You have a lot of people talking and they don't really know a thing about what they're talking about. And that's just how I see it. So allow me to break it down. Again, it's nothing personal. It's always business. I'm the Nino Brown of boxing, the best in the business, and it's not even close. But when I'm looking at these things, I'm like, look at Shakur, his resume, you know, his current resume, and tell me what win aged well. So let me set the table by saying this. For a win to age well, I'm talking about a person you fought and beat, because Shakur is undefeated, so he beat everyone he faced. Credit to him for that. But I'm talking about a person that you fought and beat, and then they went on to be relevant for any period of time thereafter, right? Like, for example, Floyd Mayweather beat guys like Canelo, right? And then Canelo then went on to become a face of boxing, beat Triple G twice, so on and so forth. Beat Caleb Plant for undisputed, move up in multiple, knocked out Kovalev, FAF. But Canelo, you know, he's a Hall of Famer. So that's someone, for example, where Floyd beat, and then they still went on to do things like even Pacquiao. Floyd beat Manny Pacquiao. I believe he's going to my party by right? He beat Manny Pacquiao, and after that, Pacquiao was still capable of beating Adrian Broner. He dropped Keith Thurman and beat him, right? So Pacquiao is still formidable, and he's, again, a Hall of Famer. Tell me who matches up like any of these names on Shakur Stevenson's bill, on his jacket. That's what I'm talking about. So yesterday I made this comment, and it says, I can't front. Shakur Stevenson's resume is not aging like fine wine, but more like milk. You look at names like Oscar Valdez, Joet Gonzalez, Robson Conceição, Jeremiah Nakathila, Toka Khan Clary, Robeisy Ramirez, and I included him because he beat Shakur in the gold medal match in the Olympics. And yesterday he just quit in his fight, his rematch. He said he got elbowed and stuff, but it is a way to go about it, bro. He just turned his back, and it was like, that's a no mas. Nah, that ain't it. So that's who beat him in the amateurs, right? And somebody else also corrected me, and they said, you forgot Jamel Herring, right? And again, you can dislike, but you can't disprove. When I'm saying these stuff, saying what I'm saying, you tell me, look at Shakur's resume and tell me who really stands out as a person that went on to be formidable, that you would really rate, right? I have it pulled up. Shakur Stevenson, his record is 22-0. He was with Top Rank for most of his career. And we just peruse and go through his resume. He's 27 years old, southpaw. Floyd Schofield, okay, so that fight hasn't even happened yet, so we can't include that. Artem Haratunian hasn't been back yet. Edwin De Los Santos, we don't know what's up with him because he hasn't been back yet. Yoshino, he was trash. Nobody, like Yoshi, ain't nobody was worried about him. I don't know. Like, come on, bro. Stop. Yoshino. Then Robson Conceição. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So Robson Conceição, he should have lost to O'Shaquie Foster the first time they rematch, and then he loses in a rematch. So you got a guy with a 19-3 record. Yeah, he's an Olympian and all that. But really, after the Shakur fight, you know, what did he do? He had a draw with Navarrete, a no contest, no decision, and really what should be 2 losses to O'Shaquie Foster, right? So that's just one example. So Robson Conceição, Oscar Valdez, like I said, he just fought Navarrete and got stopped. And you look at it, Navarrete, not only did he stop him, he lumped him up. So you see he fought Shakur in 2022, and then he beat Adam Lopez, and I think he got dropped or hurt in that fight. That was like kind of a war. Then he loses to Navarrete, and then he beats Liam Wilson, you know, Top Rank special. He's a 13-2 guy, right? And then he fights Emmanuel Navarrete again, and he gets destroyed and knocked out with a body shot. And in both Navarrete fights, Shakur dropped him once, and I feel like I don't know where Oscar Valdez goes from the Navarrete fights. I think they took a lot out of him. And I think if we had to be fair, the Navarrete fights look like they'll be harder for Valdez to have bounced back from than what Shakur did. You know, I'm not taking away Shakur won. That's probably one of his best wins. He beat Valdez, and he beat him before Navarrete, but it wasn't the level of punishment that Valdez received at the hands of Navarrete. And another opponent like that is Joet Gonzalez. You know, they try to build this and say, oh, his family was mad. But Joet Gonzalez later fought Navarrete, and he got destroyed by Navarrete. And you see, this is his record. So Shakur beat him in 2019. Emmanuel Navarrete destroyed him. He lost to Isaac Dogbe after that. And then he lost to Luis Alberto Lopez, right? who just got knocked out by the former Mayweather dude, Angelo Leo, and he got knocked out bad. So it's like, bro, none of these wins are aging well. Joet Gonzalez lost like 3 more times. Like, tell me which one has aged. I know Nakathila, and then this is the guy, the African opponent, where Shakur fought kind of negative, and Tim Bradley and others were like, oh, I fell asleep during this fight. The fight was trash, blah, blah, blah. And people were kind of bored, I guess you could say, with the Nakathila fight. And Shakur was like, oh, this guy, he's scary. He hits hard and things like that. And then Murataya later fought Nakathila and destroyed him, and like, he almost knocked him out in the first round, if I'm not mistaken, but he definitely destroyed him in the next round. And look, Nakathila got 4 losses now since the Shakur fight. Again, like I said, he lost to Ray Murataya, and then the boy Ernesto Mercado, after Murataya knocked him out again. And here's the thing. Shakur went the distance with Nakathila and had criticism for the performance. And then you see the bigger punchers of the division, Murataya and Tito Mercado, who just signed with Eddie Hearn, they're destroying him, like knocking him out. If I look at the Murataya, yeah, Mercado and Murataya knocked this dude out, this African. Did we get him? It does smell like ish, doesn't it? Bro, he knocked this African dude out, both of them, in 2 rounds. So the resume is not aging well. Jamel Herring, he lost to Jermaine Ortiz after the Shakur Stevenson fight as well. So he got 5 losses. He lost to Shakur Stevenson. Then he lost his very next fight to Jermaine Ortiz, and I think he got dropped in the fight. He had 1 win versus Nicholas Molina, and then he lost earlier this year because he retired, and then unretired, he lost to Jackson John England. So it's like, none of these names are aging well. Toka Khan Clary, I already know his didn't age well. Bro, he looked like 50 Tyson. Like, come on. 50 Tyson. Like, bro, he got pimples. Like, come on, bro. They done put a mugshot. It's 50 Cent. G Unit. Hey, you gotta do something, baby. Up Murder Inc. Hey, Irv Gotti, Nick. I smell. Is that you, Ja? I smell. Is that you, Black? I smell. Bro, come on. Who is this? Toka Khan Clary's 5'6", southpaw. Look, he fought Shakur and then took 2 years off, and it had 1 win over UD, and then he took another 2 years off, and then he just lost. Like, bro, this is Shakur's whole resume. Felix Caraballo. This was during the pandemic. I remember it. Look, bro, none of these dudes. Look, bro, you see what I'm talking about? This is a pattern. He lost to Shakur, then he lost his next 2 fights also. So he has 3 losses in a row to Shakur Stevenson, Robisi Ramirez, who just quit, I just said earlier, and then Ray Ford beat him as well. And Ray Ford had 10 fights. You dig? Like, bro, this is not aging well. You guys can say whatever you want, but the proof is in the pudding. Now, here's the crazy thing. People. I told you from the moment the fight was announced that I was picking Shakur to defeat Floyd Schofield because of experience. I think Shakur can beat Floyd Schofield, and I think he will beat Shakur Stevenson. But now that I'm looking at his resume, the confidence that I had that Shakur absolutely beats Floyd Schofield, I don't know now. Like, I might have to go watch some more tape and like do real case studies, because this looks like top ranked clever matchmaking built you to this point, and none of your wins have aged well. And it's so funny to me because you got these mother effers who hate on Gervonta Davis every day, every chance that they get. They hate on mans like Gervonta Davis, right? And here's the thing, is Gervonta Davis, his wins have aged well. Like, you got people like Rolly. He became a champion after losing to Gervonta Davis. That's a fact. You have a person like Pitbull Cruz, who wasn't even supposed to be Tank's initial opponent. He was a replacement to Rolly at the time because Rolly had legal issues at that time. You had Rolly became a champion, and then Pitbull beat Rolly, and he became a champion after losing to Tank. Ryan Garcia went on to his next fight after losing to Tank and getting stopped by Gervonta Davis. Ryan Garcia knocked out Oscar Duarte, who hasn't lost since, just beat Jojo Diaz, and then had a very tough fight with that Akhmedov or whatever dude's name is that fought Kenneth Sims, right? So Duarte is on a win streak, except for Ryan knocking him out. Then Ryan fought Devin Haney, and although it got overturned and you guys could bring up Osterine, the reality is he performed and he hurt Devin and dropped him and really put Devin's career in a difficult place, in some shambles. You dig? So that's Tank. That's Tank's resume. And you guys keep saying, like, oh, Tank, when's he going to fight? And Tank's being ducked by certain people. Lomachenko talking about he tired, he got a sore throat and all that, and he don't want to fight. You dig? So I don't know. It's looking like a lot of y'all don't know ish about boxing. That's what it's looking like to me, because you guys keep hating on Tank and saying Tank need to fight somebody and win Tank and this. But Tank's wins are aging. Like Frank Martin, that's another person. Now, just like some of Shakur's opponents, like Edwin De Los Santos or, you know, some other guys that Shakur fought where they haven't been back in the ring, like Artem Harutyunyan, so you don't know what they're going to do. If I had to have a prediction, I really think Frank Martin still will have success in his career despite getting brutally knocked out by Gervonta Davis. I rate Frank Martin. He's moving up to 140. I think he's a cerebral, skilled fighter, and he takes his time, and he's a thinking man's fighter. It was a learning lesson, and I think he can still capture some gold in boxing. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. So that's my personal opinion on the matter. I'm looking at this, and you know, of course, Frank Martin, that remains to be seen, but there's a lot of people that Tank fought that went on to do well for themselves after Tank beat him. But virtually nobody that Shakur fought went on to do anything but lose and or like retire or something. That's just being real. I'm keeping it all the way a thou wow with y'all. Now, make sure you guys follow me at BoxingEagle1. The link is in the description. I got the hottest news, you know, just like my YouTube. Shout out to Richardson Hitchens. You just like YouTube, my social media is popping. But you guys keep lying on Tank's name, saying Inoue said this and trying to start beefs. This Shakur next opponent right here, Dead Homies. Yeah, I put that on Dead Homies and Shakur's next man's. You feel me? No, I'm just BSing. But yeah, make sure you follow me on social media. It's not aging well. That's just the reality of it. And I know people are going to get mad because they want to hate on Tank and things like that. But at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Shakur's resume is not stacking up. Is not lasting the test of time. Now, if you dare, if you think you know more than me, if you think you're better than me, please leave me a comment and tell me what win aged gracefully in this world of boxing. Like, let's say Canelo. Canelo has wins where he beat Golovkin. Golovkin still was able to beat guys after the Canelo fight. Or Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant had a great fight with David Benavidez, just beat Trevor McCumbee And Caleb Plant also brutally coming off the Canelo knockout. Caleb Plant brutally knocked out a former champion in Anthony Durrell. So your whole resume shouldn't be a ton of guys that never went on to do anything else other than that, other than like lose to you. You see what I'm saying? Because when you look at top level fighters, I feel like at some point, most top level fighters, they're going to have some, like, let's say Anthony Joshua. I'm just randomly picking random people. Anthony Joshua beat Joseph Parker. Parker lost to Joe Joyce. Okay, that happens. But then he beat Wilder. And he's about to fight Daniel Dubois. So if he beats Daniel Dubois, you know, that win will be good. Like, okay, Joshua beat the champion version of Joseph Parker. And then he went on to do very well for himself outside of a couple of fights. You see what I'm saying? So I'm talking about guys who really hadn't done much when you fought them. And then after you fought him, it was more or less the same versus a guy, like I said, Anthony Joshua beat Joseph Parker when he was a champion, unified, and then Joseph Parker fought top level guys after that. Not every single fight, but he did fight top level guys, and he was able to capture some of those wins. As opposed to if Joshua fought Joseph Parker and then every single time he stepped up and fought a Wilder or a Zhele Zhang or whoever, he lost. That's how Shakur Stevenson's resume is looking, where you can't really be in charge. And I know boxing, you can't really be in charge per se of what people do after you beat them. However, your whole resume still shouldn't be everybody did bad after you beat him, because now it's going to make you start looking and analyzing like, how good was Oscar Valdez ever? Because his claim to fame was being tough and having heart and beating Berchelt after he had Rona 19, because he knocked him out. So, you know, he's looking like he was overhyped, because before Shakur fought him, Oscar Valdez fought Robson Conceição, and he really should have lost that fight to Conceição, and they robbed him in Arizona. You know, so it's really making me question Shakur's resume, and also the confidence I had in Shakur to beat Floyd Schofield. Floyd Schofield might be a bigger threat than people believe. Again, I'm not changing my prediction as it sits right now. I'm still picking Shakur to beat Schofield, but his resume is not doing him any favors. He's kind of like resume with the training wheels. And then Shakur, listen, some of the stuff he says sounds delusional. He's talking about Tank needs him for his legacy before he retires, or people will say, why does he need you? And listen, shout out to Gervonta Davis. I understand why he lashed out at the reporters. Like, why y'all keep mentioning him? Why y'all keep bringing up this guy's name? I'm really understanding it. It's making a whole lot of sense to me, because the more you start with the fine-tooth comb looking at Shakur's resume, the more sus it looks. Again, if you could prove me wrong, which I know you can't, prove me wrong. Deuces.